How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is currently running a plethora of sales with its Essential Pick sale, as well as its games under $15 sale. Want to highlight some of the best deals under $5. You guys know how this works. Let's just get right into it, and let's start things off with Dishonored Definitive Edition, which is 75% off for $4.99. A great action stealth title that you can really play in a plethora of different ways. If you want to go heavy and lean on the action, you can do that. If you want to play the game more of a stealth title, you can do that as well. Either way, you're gonna have a pretty good time. It seems like most people do find it more satisfying to go the slower paced way, but Dishonored's a great game. Great art style that it's wild to think about. Dishonored came out 11 years ago. I think it was December of 2012, and it still looks pretty good just because it employed this pretty unique art style, and I like the aesthetics to it. $4.99 for this. Remember, it also includes the DLC. It's pretty good, all things considered. It is available on Plus Premium if you do want to play it that way. Next up, we have Batman Arkham Knight, 80% off for $3.99. I mean, this is a standard recommendation. Batman Arkham Knight is really good. It was my least favorite of the three main Arkham games, RIP Arkham Origins, but nonetheless, Arkham Knight was still a pretty solid game. I know there was a lot of mixed opinions, and really, mixed opinions more so leaning negative about the Batmobile sections. I didn't hate them as much as some other people. I thought it had some nice combat elements and whatnot, but yes, I understand like some of the traversal sections and everything like that. Okay, yeah, maybe that wasn't that great, but I still thought overall Arkham Knight was a pretty solid game. If you haven't played the other Arkham games, obviously the route you should try to go is pick up the Arkham Collection. That goes usually on sale for like $9, and you'll get Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. So to get all three of those games is pretty good, but if you're just looking to play Arkham Knight, $3.99, available on Plus Extra as well. Next up, we have Rayman Legends, 80% off for $3.99. This is a game that I constantly go to bat for because it is a fantastic platformer, and really, Rayman as a whole an IP that Ubisoft can do a lot more. I know I'm a broken record in saying that, but Ubisoft be sinking so much money into Assassin's Creed, and I understand why. Man, give some love to Rayman. Rayman, as far as a traditional platformer goes, it's great art style, has been a challenge, but also super accessible to anybody. $3.99, great price on that, available on Plus Extra as well. Next up, we have Titanfall II, the Ultimate Edition, 85% off for $4.49. I know a lot of people were really depressed recently when the news of Titanfall 3 being in development ultimately did get cut short, came out, but, you know, that's the game development world, and they went to the route of Apex Legends, and guess what? Apex Legends was a colossal success, but Titanfall 2 was a really good game that built upon the qualities of Titanfall 1, added a single-player campaign that was actually pretty decent, and that was one of the main drawbacks of the first game, and the multiplayer was obviously great. EA kind of did this game dirty by releasing it right around the same time as a bunch of other titles. I think Overwatch had just come out, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was about to come out, and EA's own Battlefield 1 was coming out. Like, I wonder, out of all those games, what game was gonna take the brunt of that, but nevertheless, Titanfall 2 was a great game. $4.49, not a bad deal on that. Next up, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, $4.99 on this. This was another EA title that had a honestly a warranted amount of hype, because if you played Mirror's Edge 2008, you would have been hyped for Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and Catalyst still has a lot of quality elements to it. It did open up the levels a little bit more, but the parkour and the platforming is still fairly decent. I think it's a worthwhile game to play through. Obviously not at $60, but you're not paying $60. It's $4.99, and I think at that price point, it's quite good. So check that out, and I wish there was a way to play Mirror's Edge 08 on PlayStation, but alas, that is not possible at the current moment. Next up, Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2 are both discounted. Miami is $2.49, while Miami 2 is $3.74. Both have a great throwback retro aesthetic, a lot of blood and whatnot, so maybe not for everybody, but love Hotline Miami, and it's one of those games that you can always go back to and have a pretty good time with that. Just chaotic action fun, and sometimes that's what you need out of a game. Next up, Dragon's Crown Pro, 80% off for $3.99. Dragon's Crown is a really solid action beat-em-up RPG by the guys over at Vanillaware. Now, Vanillaware, with all of their games, they have a really nice art style, and, you know, that shines through in Dragon's Crown. In my opinion, Dragon's Crown is the game that I enjoyed from them the least, but, you know, it's still a decent title, and I would say a fairly good one. It's just when you compare it to Muramasa, Odin Sphere, and 13 Sentinels especially, I think this one is a little bit of a level below, but for $4, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Next up, we have Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, 75% off for $4.99. Often give a lot of praise to Valkyria Chronicles. It's a franchise and a JRPG series that I think deserves a lot more love. I understand that maybe it's the gameplay style that, especially to JRPG fans, not something that you'll get that into, but but man, it's a well-done tactics-based combat system, and it's not that difficult. Like, you guys can figure it out fairly easily, and you guys know me, I'm not into tactics games at all, and I really enjoyed Valkyria Chronicles. You know, there's definitely some challenging sections, don't get me wrong, and there's one part that I remember being absolutely infuriated with this game, but I think most of you guys that are decent at video games can find your way through, and the story is really good. It's got a great watercolor art style that even though this game came out 15 years ago, it still holds up fairly well. For $4.99, I think it's a great game, and I would strongly recommend it. Next up, want to give a shout to Oxenfree. That's down to $2.49. Now, they do have the game dynamic theme and avatar bundle for $3.49. Avatar is great. Dynamic themes unusable on the PS5, so take that for what you will. Oxenfree 2 just came out. The reviews are looking really good on that. Gotta check that out here soon, but I would recommend you to play Oxenfree 1 first. It's a really, really unique story-driven title done by Night School Studio, who actually, that studio has some people from Telltale in it, and they delivered a great RPG that has, you know, a lot of interesting character interactions, and overall a very well-told narrative, and it parlays right into Oxenfree 2. Definitely check it out. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised by it. Next up, we have Cat Quest 1 and 2. Cat Quest at $4.28, but with Plus, you'll get it for $2.98. Cat Quest 2, on the other hand, is $4.94, but with Plus, you save 10% more, and you'll get it for $3.44. Very charming, accessible RPGs, not too difficult, not too lengthy at all, but they are solid games, and especially if you need a break from, you know, all of the mature, gritty, and challenging games that I'm sure you guys are playing. Cat Quest is a nice diversion, and if you want to get, like, you know, your kid or a younger sibling, etc., into video games, Cat Quest and Cat Quest 2, I think, are charming options that, you know, most people can get into. Next up, we have Shadow Warrior 2, $4.49. This is available on Plus Extra. Great game, over-the-top first-person action title. You know, this is a game that I feel like you can just jump right into and enjoy the gameplay. You don't have to get super into the narrative, but Shadow Warrior 2 is a great game, and, you know, I would recommend Shadow Warrior 1 as well, but Shadow Warrior 2 is the one that I would highly recommend you guys to check out. Multiplayer as well. Definitely for sub $5, great deal there. Let's just go through all of the Supergiant games. Bastion, Transistor, Pyre, they're all fantastic games. Bastion at $2.99 is tremendous. I know at this point might be a game that's not talked about as much, especially as Supergiant has evolved so much, and this was their coming out party, and what a coming out party this game was. Bastion was tremendous, and I remember early on in those days of downloadable titles, like, Bastion was one of those games that people realized, whoa, like, downloadable titles can be really good, and it's fantastic. Definitely would recommend you to check that out. Transistor is $4, more of a cyberpunk sci-fi aesthetic to it. Great visuals on this as well. Soundtrack is really good. Gameplay style might not be for everyone, but I overall thought that was a great game. It was a Plus title way back. I think it was February of 2014 when it initially came out, somewhere around then. But yeah, it was a Plus title, I believe, right when it came out. And then Pyre is $4.99. This is more of an RPG, party-based RPG. Great aesthetics here, and I feel like Pyre is definitely, out of all of the Supergiant games, this is the one that definitely gets forgotten about. It was in that in-between period between Transistor and Hades, and Hades blew up like crazy. Pyre, sometimes forgotten about, but another title to check out there. And then lastly, I do want to give a shout to GRIS, which is $4.24. This is a game that has a fantastic visual style, great art style as well, was received incredibly well. It's definitely on the shorter side, but thematically the game is fantastic, and I think, you know, if the aesthetics look appealing to you, you'll ultimately enjoy the entirety of the game. But that will do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available under the price of $5 right now over at the PlayStation Store. Links to all of the deals in the description box below. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.